It's been 5 months since Apple updated the firmware for the AirPods Pro 2nd generation, but today we finally got a new firmware update, not only for the AirPods Pro 2, but also for the original AirPods Pro, the AirPods 2nd and 3rd generation, and also the AirPods Max. And unlike the last update, this time every single pair of AirPods has the same version number. So that firmware version is 5E133. The version before this was 5B59 for all of the AirPods except for the AirPods Pro 2nd generation, which were stuck at 5B58, which again was back in November of 2022. So it's been a while since the AirPods Pro 2 have been updated. But anyways, if we go into our settings right here and then go into our AirPods Pro 2, you can see that we are on the latest version, 5E133. Now, before we get into what's new in this update, along with a big fix for the AirPods Pro 2nd generation, let's talk about how to actually update your AirPods, because I actually found out something this time that I didn't know previously. So first off, and if you've had AirPods for a while, you will know this, but the AirPods are not able to be manually updated like we can on the iPhone, the Mac, the Apple Watch, pretty much any other platform that Apple has. You are able to manually update the software, but for the AirPods, for whatever reason, you are not able to do that. The update happens automatically. However, there are some things that you need to do in order for that update to happen automatically, and also how to expedite that update process. All right, so to update your AirPods, what you need to do is first off, connect them to your device. Make sure you have an iPhone that is connected to Wi-Fi, and you should see them right here if they are connected to your device. After that, you want to put your AirPods in the case and close the case. Once your AirPods are inside of the case, you want to plug the case into a charger, or you can wirelessly charge. The main goal here is just to get the battery level to 100%. And even after your AirPods hit 100% battery, keep them plugged in and keep them next to your iPhone. And you can always keep an eye on the battery level. I like to look at the battery level right here to see when my case gets to 100%, because I know that's when the update is going to happen soon. So it usually happens within 10 to 15 minutes. Most of the time, it's honestly less. And earlier, I did mention that I found out something new with this update. And what I found out, or I guess what I discovered, a little hack to know that your AirPods have been updated. Now, this only works for the AirPods Pro 2 since it has a speaker, but just keep your AirPods plugged into the case and, have your iPhone nearby, and then just let it sit there. Forget about it. And then eventually you will hear a chime come from the case. And that happens once it reboots. And after that, that's when you know that the firmware has been updated. That's the first time I've personally noticed that. And it's a great way to, update without having to go in and constantly keep checking the firmware, keep going down and refreshing and seeing if it's updating. This way, once you hear that chime, that your AirPods are updated. Now, if that's not updating for some reason, you could always plug your AirPods into a Mac. So I've heard that kind of expedites the process as well and updates your AirPods, although I've personally never had to do that. And by the way, this update process is the same for all AirPods. For the AirPods Max, just keep them plugged in and you can have them inside of the Brawl case, or you can have them outside, it doesn't matter. So once you've updated your AirPods, you probably will not notice any type of visual changes anywhere. I've not noticed anything visually that's different, but let me tell you right off the bat that this was the quickest AirPods update I've ever had. Like, the update initiated almost instantly after the firmware was released. It installed on my AirPods, all of them, way quicker than it had previously. I basically read that the update was released and I heard that chime on my AirPods Pro 2 case like instantly after that. So I'm not sure what's been changed on the back end or if it was just me, but all of my AirPods, all 3 of these AirPods updated faster than they ever have before. But anyways, taking a look at the release notes, you can see here that Apple gives us a very descriptive, description of what this update entails. It just says bug fixes and other improvements. Thank you, Apple. But like I said, you're not going to notice any visual differences. That's probably not going to come until like iOS 17 at this rate. But anyways, once you go into your AirPods Pro 2, you will see if you go down to the version number right here and you tap on that, you will notice that the case has been updated as well to 54.26.0. Now, why is it significant? Well, because one of the main issues I had, along with several of you guys in my comments on social media everywhere, have had bad battery drain for the AirPods Pro 2 case. The AirPods Pro 2 themselves, the buds, are perfectly fine. I never have issues with the battery life. It's amazing. But the case, for some reason, always drains on me. And I thought we were just going to have to deal with it. But since we got an update to the case, I've actually noticed already, I've had this updated, I've had this new firmware on here for over 2 hours now, and I've not dropped 1% on the case. And I can tell you that before, it would only take like 1 hour to drop at least 1% when I'm just simply not using them, or even when I am using them. And I've had these make multiple sounds and it has not even dropped down below 100% one time. So I think that this update is going to fix the battery drain issue with the AirPods Pro 2 charging case. So if you had that issue previously, make sure you go ahead and update. You're going to want that for sure. And let me know in a comment down below if this did in fact fix the battery drain issue for you. Now, I did also listen to quite a bit of music and podcasts, and I was really trying to see if there was any type of difference whatsoever in the active noise cancellation, but I was not able to notice any change with this new update. So I'm really trying hard to not have a placebo effect and just say everything sounds better, because I've been guilty of doing that before as well, but I just really was trying not to. So there could actually be a difference, but I just didn't notice anything major. So unless I noticed something that was like really major, I'm not going to say that noise cancellation is better. So to me, it sounded about the same as it did all along. And same with the AirPods Max, and it's probably going to be the same on the AirPods Pro first generation as well, especially because the previous update for the AirPods Pro first generation greatly improved the active noise cancellation. And the same goes with transparency mode. I actually never tried that until just now. I just tested it out, and it also appears to be the same as it was previously. Now, there could be a slight improvement, but again, I'm trying to avoid having the placebo effect, because to me, it's not a big enough difference to say, that it's definitely better, because I don't think it is. If it's better, it's very, very slightly. But to me, both noise cancellation and transparency mode seem the same. Now, as for the AirPods Pro first generation, obviously, since I have the AirPods Pro 2, I am not actively using the AirPods Pro 1, so I'm not able to say if anything has improved on those. But if you have any experience that's, better or worse, let me know in a comment down below. And then for the AirPods Pro second and third generation, I honestly don't use these really at all anymore, since I have the AirPods Pros and the AirPods Max, but you guys also get this 5E133 update. So if you find anything new, or if you notice any bugs or bug fixes, please let me know in a comment down below. It could help out other users with the AirPods second or third generation. So I did also want to address something very interesting that Apple just added to their AirPods update page today. So if you take a closer look at this final paragraph, it says this: if you don't have an Apple device nearby, you can set up an appointment at an Apple store or with an Apple authorized service provider to update your firmware. So this is clearly meant for those using AirPods without an iPhone or without an Apple device. So like if you have the AirPods and you're using it with a Windows PC or an Android device. But this just further proves how ridiculous the update process is. And this is just why we need a manual method for installing these firmware updates for the AirPods. I mean, it's ridiculous. You literally have to go to an Apple store. Like imagine if you live in a remote area where there's no Apple store for hours and you're using your AirPods with your Windows PC because you just like them. You will not be able to fix your bugs or get a firmware update unless you drive 5 hours to an Apple store and have them, update your AirPods for you. That's ridiculous. And it's really sad to see this, because it's almost like Apple is telling us that there's not going to be, any other way to do it anytime soon. I hope we see something in iOS 17, but this is kind of telling me that we might not. I just think that we should have a very simple, section inside of our settings to update the AirPods, whether that's in general software updates, just have something right there, or whether that's in, accessibility settings. If we go into our accessibility, I can't even type because I'm mad about this, but if you go into accessibility and then into AirPods, we should have like an update page in here. There should be some way to manually initiate the software update or the firmware update for this. I just think it's ridiculous. But anyways, let me stop ranting. I'm sure there's a rhyme and reason for everything. But anyways, that is the new firmware update for the AirPods. This time we got the update across the board. The AirPods Pro 2 were not left out like they were last time. So it's nice to see. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you give it a thumbs up. Also make sure to subscribe for more AirPods and iOS update videos.